Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? It's Monday morning. Monday morning, opportunities for creating a whole new experience of inspiration this week for you, art lovers out there. I have an art to heart interview today with one of our masters of our top 60 masters. And I'm really inspired by his work. So, to tell you a little bit about the artist, is Tom Ashbourne, who has incredible sculptures. He creates contemporary and abstract. He sculpts in stone, working with its natural energy and colors to create intriguing curves, textures, and tension between positive and negative spaces. Wow, that's beautiful. That sounds beautiful. And here he is, Tom. Welcome.
Hello, Viviana. How are you this morning?
Good. That was inspiring to read about you. So I thought I wanted to share that with the viewers this morning. Also, there's
Okay.
so much to explore about you. There's so much to explore about you, and I have some questions there. But I always ask this question to everyone that comes to Art to Heart, and the reason is because I want to inspire people out there. So tell me, how was your journey to becoming an artist? When did the spark click there? What happened in the mind and the heart that made you say, I want to be, this is what I want to do? And when that happened?
Well, basically, I've been in the periphery of the arts for my entire life, mostly as a collector. I started in college as a collector and developed through my collection through my time as a corporate executive. I have to say, I didn't actually make any art. I spent all those years learning about art and learning about what are important components and how you can bring things out and the energy and all the things. So, many people went to art school. I went to the School of Experience, and it has served me exceedingly well. So, about 7 or 8 years ago, I decided to leave corporate life, and I had previously taken some sculpting courses at one of our major art galleries and design courses at an important college. And I thought that would be a wonderful way to try and re-career is into an artist. And I have been very fortunate. It's happened like immediately. I had my first 5 pieces in a show. I had won awards with those pieces. I had, my first show had a sale, and all of a sudden it just kept on going, and I just keep. It's very much the case that anyone out there, and I would say this to people who are watching, everyone has artistic talents in them. Everyone has the opportunity to appreciate. Everyone can learn, and it is a fantastic opportunity for everyone to be part of the arts.
Absolutely. Something that I find really fascinating is the fact that you were a very successful corporate executive, a collector. What were you collecting?
I collected just about anything. It was all about what appealed to me and about my eye. Um, and I've got all mediums. I've got went through the exercise of going through from prints to watercolors to acrylics to oils, and I've got a lot of glass, a lot of things. And then I settled down that to me the best for me the best form is sculpture. It is really, it's creative, it's different, it causes your eye to do things every time you look at it. So it's different with the light, it's different with the shape, it's different wherever you put it in your house. And that to me is really important as a collector. You want to be able to have something that's fresh and different, and you wake up in the morning and say, wow, I didn't see that before, or I really like that, or that really inspires me. And that's a successful piece of art for any artist. And that's what I've always strived for is, and it's all about form, shape, color. It's not about how much it is. It's about, the basics of art before you get to, is it something that you can afford or not afford? And that to me is what collecting is about, is expanding your mind and doing what you love to do and have the opportunity to do.
Yes, I love about your work is that you also explore colors. Even though you're working with shapes and forms, with sculptures, you also include that element that I think is it's beautiful. It adds a sort of energetic feeling to your work. Do you explore that? Is
I
that
do.
intentional?
I do. And now I can't change the color of my sculptures, although most recently I have added a little bit of acrylic paint here and there to bring out, some features that I would like to. But I know generally the color it's going to be. But I work with the stone. It's an interactive exercise, and as I carve into the stone, I see the colors come out. I see the inner beauty of that piece of stone. And the piece of stone is waiting. I mean, it sat there for millions of years waiting for me to come and to provide the sculpture inside. And you know, I truly believe that every piece of stone has a sculpture inside it. It's up to me to bring it out, and up to me to show the colors and the energy and one of the things I like most about color is it brings energy. It brings the form and the shape to life, and it's a composite thing that you have form, shape, color, and that's something that's been artistic principles for forever, and it makes everything unique, and it makes everything different, and makes it a challenge. Every day I go out to work, I don't know exactly what the color is going to be. I don't know exactly what the shape is going to be. I don't know exactly. And that whole exercise is one that keeps me fresh and keeps the sculptures fresh and interesting.
Wow. So now let's go back to you're a corporate executive, very successful, and then your routine changes now. Now you're not, going to a job, you're working as an independent artist and as a sculptor, which is it's physically demanding,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to put a lot of energy. How is that routine? How was adjusting to that routine, and how is it now?
Well, adjusting to the routine was a little hard, uh, I have to say, because uh, I had, tons of people at my door. I had everybody coming to me. I'm sure you have the same thing, that there's just a million things to do, and if you're successful, everybody comes to you to ask for advice and help and decisions. Uh, and you have a lot of interaction with people.
Yes.
Now it's very different, and the transition from not having the interaction with people was hard. The transition to actually doing the sculpting part wasn't nearly as hard, because I use all the same skills I used as an executive. I use my analytic skills. I use my time management skills. I use my ability to go and see things from many different angles, and that particular skill of being able to see things that other people can't. I used to see them in the work that I did, and in the building, models and things at work. And now I use them for my artistic talent. That part was a fairly easy transition, at least for me, using those skills. But I have to say, not having as many people around was a big change.
It
So,
is. It is.
and now I'm kind of more used to it. And what I find is that the people who come to visit my gallery and to see my studio, that's kind of the replacement from having all of those staff around. And I can now talk about art and sculpture, and it's a whole different experience. It's wonderful, but it did take a little bit of transition. And
Yeah.
the other thing is that it takes a while to build your confidence. You start working on things, and I have been very fortunate, because I started winning awards and I started selling right away, and everyone said to me, well, don't get too excited because it's going to take a while for this or a while for that, or no sculpture gets awards of this kind. Well, none of that happened to me, and so it's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
And isn't it incredible? Because I love what you just said, and it's the fact that you never know what the journey is going to bring. And this goes for artists out there who are watching, or for anybody for that matter. You can manifest, you have committed to your career, you're a professional artist, you have dedicated yourself to your expertise, to becoming an expert on what you do, to achieving a level of mastery that is really admirable, and I love that. So their journeys are different, but it all depends to you, right? It's all up to you, and you can make it happen. You're winning awards right now. You're in a level that you probably didn't know or didn't expect, even though you were working so hard on doing what you're doing.
Mhm. Well, I've been everything you
There's
do
the work.
is okay. Everything you do is um, builds on everything else. But you have to take your opportunities when they come, and you just have to believe. And you have to make good work. But that everyone has a career is a mix of skill and talent, and people helping them, and a bit of luck and fortune in everything. And so you got to be positive, right? And you
Yep.
got to look at the when something happens that you don't expect, instead of saying, oh, I wish that something else had happened, you just embrace it and say, hey, this is fantastic. And it takes you places. And there is I'm so far beyond any set of expectations that I have. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, I would never have imagined in ever being able to have you interview me for, like this. And it's, but you have to keep positive. And I can't emphasize enough that, when things don't, you have expectations, when things don't go your way, you know, keep looking for that silver lining, because it's going to be there, and it's going to potentially take you someplace that you never imagined you'd go, and it's going to be wonderful, way more beneficial than what you thought that it could be. And I keep applying that same concept to my sculptures. I mean, I look at it and I think, well, this is great, or oh, this is not working. Well, if it's not working, I put the sculpture back on the shelf and wait till it's telling me what it wants to do, and then I turns out something wonderful. And that's every day is like that you look for the good things, and stuff happens. And be open.
Wow, that sounds incredible. I love what you're saying, because I always say behind the masterpiece, there's the journey of the master.
Hmm.
And you are there on that journey. You are connecting to Mother Earth through your works. I love that. You said something before that I heard on a quote. You said it in different words, but I tell you, I don't know if you heard this quote before, but Michelangelo Bonarotti, who said, I saw the angel in the stone and I carved until I set it free.
Yeah.
So, and you said something like that, right? That every stone, there's a sculpture in every stone, and there's gotta be a connection there on between you and the material and the stone or the marble or whatever it is, right? There's
Yes.
gotta be that connection between the artist and and the object of that the media. There's something there. That's what brings forth a masterpiece, I believe, when that connection happens and you just let it flow. Is that how it works in your experience?
Yes. Yes. Very
Right.
much so. And you believe, and all of a sudden, you work one piece of the stone, and then you turn it over and work another piece of the stone. And as it comes through, I can tell the stone is happy with what I'm doing. If it's,
Love
it's
it.
sounds a little strange, but I can tell and if it's happy, I keep on going. If it's not happy, I sort of slow down because I know that there's a happy spot in that piece of stone, and I know that I can bring it out. And your comment about Michelangelo, we were fortunate enough to be invited to show my work at the Florence Art Biennale last October, and we went to Florence and we saw Michelangelo's David,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. But also, what is amazing is in the same space they have, well, I believe they call them the slaves, but they're the half-finished pieces, and they are amazing. And you look at that and you start to really realize the genius of Michelangelo being able to take a block of stone and find exactly what's in that piece of stone, and to see it half done is like, wow. And for me, it was a wonderful experience because that's kind of what I do. It keeps, pieces come out and pieces come out. I don't do figural work, but everything keeps coming out, and you add things, and you keep looking and saying, well, is this got all of the artistic elements that you normally have in a two-dimensional painting or a three-dimensional piece, and all the things we would learn about art, all those have to show up, and they do. I mean, it's amazing if you keep looking and believing, and that. So I really truly believe that that's exactly what happens with stone sculptures is what your comment about Michelangelo, and it's a real I believe it's a gift to be able to see into
Yes.
the stone and to start seeing things in the stone and to be inspired by it. It's I'd like to say that anybody could do it, but most of the technical work people can do, and that's not unlike all kinds of art. People can do, anyone can pick up a paint, a brush, but as you get more skilled or you have a gift, you bring out things that other people wouldn't, and that's part of the joy of the arts, is that everybody gets to bring out what they can bring out and show things. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I want to share a little bit of your work through your website. I have your website here,
Hmm.
and I have some of your sculptures because I wanted to share this with the audience. And again, I mean, I love colors, so I'm fascinated, but also by the forms. Let me ask you something, because I'm looking at this, and one of the things that comes to mind, because I am a painter, is that when you're painting, you sometimes don't know when to stop. Like, there's that very fine line between keep going and destroy the work,
Yeah.
or stop when you need to. Does that happen to sculptures too? Does that happen to you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So when people come to talk to me about sculptures, to me, the most important question they can ask someone who's a sculptor is, when do you stop? Right?
Right.
Because I can turn a 100-pound piece of stone into a 20-pound piece of sculpture pretty easily by keeping fixing and changing it, as you said, with two-dimensional work. But I keep looking at the piece as I go through, and what I end up at the end, I stop generally when I think to myself, my litmus test is, would I buy that? Right? And I look at that
Mm.
and I say, is this good enough for me to buy? And as a collector, and at that point, there's amazing things. The particular piece you're showing here, the um, oatmeal marble one, or
Yes.
oatmeal alabaster with the eye. The eye that's in that came right out of the stone, right? So I cut the line, and that little dot where the eye is, that was naturally in the stone. And so I had to be able to recognize that and think, well, this is exactly where this piece wanted to be. There is a balanced piece on the right hand side that is the other eye that naturally is in the piece of stone. It's and I could just as easily have ground it out, but it is there, and that's what the stone wanted to be. It gave me, the opportunity to see an eye, a mouth, a nose, and it came alive. It's a marvelous piece because it presents all the same things about learning about the stone, what it wants to be, showing things. There aren't any other of those little inclusions in the piece. It's just those ones where it's the eyes, and for everyone, the comment, the eyes are the entrance to the soul. That is what makes this piece, because it brings you into that piece with the eyes and the character of it. And it was just there, waiting to be found.
Beautiful.
So it's amazing.
It is. It's like it's what I always say, the collaboration between the master and the masterpiece, right?
Hmm.
It's like allowing it. You're allow that freedom of. I think it brings. It's also a lot of self confidence, of course, that comes from again getting to a certain level of mastery that you are allowing also the stone to be while
Yes.
you're sculpting it. This is a collaborative work between you and the stone. It's beautiful.
Well,
I
thank
love
you.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
And here's another eye, right?
It is. It is. And I like having positive and negative space. And this one
Yes.
shows lots of positive, negative space and lots of flow and a point of interest. And this was one of the pieces that they selected for the Florence Biennale.
Mm,
And I never get tired of it. And one of the things that it's also in my pieces is that if you were to look at the opposite side, you would see an entirely different sculpture. Very wonderful, but you can see like both sides have really interesting features, and that's one of the things I really try to instill in my sculptures is something that's interesting all the way around, so that as you're walking around it, as you're having light moving on it, it really works. And one of the things that we do is that if someone buys a piece, we include a turntable, one of those lazy Susan turntables for every
yeah.
piece, and that way you can move it to the angle you like. You can show people the different sides. You can move it around easily depending on the light that's coming in, because all the sculptures come to light and to life in light,
Yes.
and they look very different. This particular one is translucent alabaster, and
Love it.
so with a light behind it, it actually starts to glow, and so it takes on a different tone, a different personality, depending on the time of day, depending on where you put it, what you put it with, and that's so you have a piece of art that lives with you, and the to me the best paintings I have are those that as I said before, I wake up and they live with me, and they I never get tired of them. I've got many pieces that are 20, 25 years old, and every day I look at them, I think they're wonderful. And
Mm,
that is, to me, fantastic art. And one of the things that you do, Viviana, is you really encourage people to do their art, and you present them, and you know every
thanks.
every person, no matter who you are, you want to be seen, you want to be heard, and you want to be significant. And in the arts, you know, with visual presentation, that's our kind of bread and butter, so to speak, is a visual presentation. Having the opportunity to share our voice through what you're doing, to have the opportunity to have you show that the world that that I have some significance is a true treasure. And you do so much for your arts. Your magazine is just an amazing magazine, and I'm every time I see my pieces, and I'm so honored to be in it with all of those amazing artists that you have, that you represent and present and show. And it's it's fantastic. And so, you know,
Thank you.
being able to have a voice, and that's, artists forever have had a different voice than other people, and an opportunity to be significant, and an opportunity to say different things, whether they be social, whether they be artistic, whether they be, whatever their message is, and having, your opportunity to show that and present that is absolutely awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm honored. I'm honored to be able to present you, to share your work. There's so much to your work. I would love to see your studio and see those sculptures and touch them. I
Awesome.
I believe on your work in a way that it goes beyond the sculpture. I really do. And the artists that I work with, when it comes to selecting the artists that we work with, is because of that. Because I believe in art as a vehicle for global awareness, to bring transformation, to inspire. And I believe in your work in that sense. I know it goes beyond the fact that you're not just sitting there calculating, doing the math, and this is how the sculpture is going to be. For you, it comes from inside. I can see that it comes from within, and there's this connection with, Mother Earth, with the stone, and making it happen. I'm like, really, it really touches me. I'm really inspired by your work. Honest, comes from in there. It really does.
Well, it does, and
Yeah.
you know, I know a lot of sculptors go and they mark on their pieces, and then they carve what they want to be stone to be. Well, I mean, I just I go out and I work with the piece, and it comes through, and
Yep.
it makes it kind of unique. It allows me to put my own personal energy and passion into it. Um, it's not about my technical abilities to carve the stone. It's about my artistic abilities to bring something out that no one else would be bringing out. There's many fantastic sculptors, but you've got to be yourself, and you've got to be, it brings a uniqueness to my work, and a real energy. And that's one of the things that a lot of people have commented on, that it has an energy, it has
Yes.
a flow, it has a feeling to it that other pieces may not.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and when we were in Florence, we saw a lot of sculptures by a lot of very famous people, and you could tell the ones that are the most famous, the true masters, because they brought an energy, they brought a life to their sculptures. It's not about the features, it's about the energy and life that's coming from inside. And um, you know that's something that I strive to present in my pieces, is that energy.
And it comes through. It really comes through. I love what you do. I think it's a matter of, and for those who are watching, a lot of technical ability needs to be there to accomplish what you're doing, because I know, and I have friends also, and I've known sculpture, especially stones. If you give it the wrong pressure, you hit the wrong place, the whole piece is ruined. It's
Yep.
gone, it's done, right?
Yep.
So a lot of technical ability, but at the same time being able to, I think, to be humble to the level of your expertise, that, but at the same time you allow it, you allow the artwork to come through. That's fantastic. That's what makes a master and a masterpiece. It really does.
Well, it's you're totally correct, and it also makes it a lot more fun going out to the studio, when
Yep.
you're going and you're making things, and things come out, and you're saying, this is mine, and it's good, and and you do learn all kinds of technical stuff, but just like any other artist, technique is only a very small part. It's the creative part. It's the insight. It's that really makes the big big difference in every artist's work.
Yeah, I'm sharing some of the comments because I haven't acknowledged them, but thank you guys for commenting and supporting Tom. April says amazing works. Cornelia, hey Corny, how are you doing? She's an artist in the other side of the world, and she's in California. Thank you. Thanks from from the bottom of our hearts. Mile says it's a pleasure to meet you. Hi Tom. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for supporting. Very talented. Thank you. Thanks for watching also. Tom, if anybody wants to visit your studio, are you up for visits?
Oh, absolutely. Love having visits. Love having people come. Viviana, if you ever come to Canada and to Toronto area, I would love to host you. We have a wonderful property, and I love having people. I love showing them my work. I love having them, watching them sit and touch my pieces and share my experience and my opportunity. So I would love to have anybody come. It's
awesome. Awesome. And Toronto is such a fun city. So if you guys are in Toronto, now you know there's an artist up there you can visit. And this is a website, you're seeing it right now scrolling through the screen. So that's Tom's website. Leave a comment, let him know what you think of his works and support the artist. Thanks, Tom. We're getting to the top of the hour, but I really wanted to have an opportunity and thank you for your participation, for being one of our top 60 masters 2022. Hopefully you're coming to New York, right?
I am coming to New York.
Yeah. Exciting. So this is happening in June, guys. You're going to watch this also through TV and see the artists receiving their awards. It's going to be incredible. This is just a preview of what's coming up. Thanks, Tom, for your time.
Well, thank you for Viviana for having me and wonderful questions and comments and all the encouragement that you have about my work. And it's really, really appreciated. And no artist lives by themselves. They are part of the outside world, and we all need encouragement. We all need support. We all need people like you to make things happen, to get the opportunity to see people halfway around the world. So it's fantastic. So
thank you. Thank you too. Thank you too. And keep going, keep creating. You're doing incredible work. I'm honored to have you, and the whole team of Art2 International is happy and waiting for you here in the city. And thanks everyone for watching today. I hope this was really inspiring. There's so much more to explore about Tom, so I encourage you to visit his website. And if there's any comments, anything that you want to send our way, feel free to email me or go to art2international.com and we'll be happy to answer. And have an incredible and fantastic Monday and rest of the week. And until I see you again, don't forget to stay inspired.